What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Dudes. We are finally together again. We do our best, and I love when we can pop on here and talk and bullshit a little bit. So we got a good one today. So I wrote down a question a little while back that I kind of wanted to pose to you, Matt, and that is, what do you think causes more harm or more stress? Eating just whatever you want to, regardless of the amount of microplastics, heavy metals, different like red 40, different toxins that are in our foods, or stressing so much about those things not being in the food. What do you think kind of creates more overall stress in somebody?
Man, it's funny. I just had a conversation with my mom, and she was asking, like, I want to transition over to like a pea protein and, something that's a little bit more like vegan friendly. And I was like, okay. So I started looking up a few of them, and I know quality wise, one of the best forms of protein that you can get if you're going to go that route is pea protein. So it's like, okay, let me see which one has a good quality pea protein, do some reviews and research, and then like send her over a couple different options. So I did, and one of them was Orgain. I don't know if you've used them or heard of them.
Yeah.
And this is maybe like a couple weeks ago, and then she sent me back like, hey, they're actually like super high up on the lead. They have lead, like, a certain amount of lead inside of them, so it's on the lead list. So I was like, okay. And then it got me thinking to the point of where I'm personally like, I don't really like look into that stuff. I know it's super important, but like she does. And so, that was something where it's like, okay, she's going to have to find another alternative. And then, my next question to her was like, okay, well, why does it have to be like are you going like a vegan friendly protein? Like, is this more of like, it depends on the person's reasons, right? So if you can smash that and go, okay, yeah, just go animal protein, like you're going to make it a whole lot easier on yourself. You can go some
Yeah.
high quality whole food sources, you know what I mean? So I think for me personally, like when it comes down to it, I don't like worrying about, I'm not going to say like I don't care about quality, because I do, but I'm not going to sit there and like stress over how much lead is in it or colors or anything like that, or like this huge ingredients list. Of course, I'm going to prioritize and mix in my single ingredient, high quality whole foods. However, if I want to have something and it has like red 40 in it, I'm not going to be the person to be like, oh no, I can't have that. I think for me, it's, I want to say like in a way that I want to say it's important. It absolutely is, but I'm also willing to have something to be able to enjoy myself, if that makes sense. Right? So I kind of want to be able to have stress free. What about you, man?
Oh, dude, I'm in the same boat because I I think about this a good amount because I think that we're in a day and age, especially in the US, where our food is like bad. Like it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
The good, like even the high quality, like single ingredient whole foods that are organic are, it's coming out
Oh,
that
two
they're actually
pesticides. Yeah.
great. Yeah, it's like, and so it becomes this thing where you get so many people that are focused on lead and toxins and stuff like that. And like you said, it is important, but I think with how, to give you an example, so I think I've talked about this before on the podcast a little while back, but Marissa follows this person on Instagram called, I think it's Lead Safe Mama, and
Mm.
she like constantly puts out reviews on like how much lead and arsenic and different toxins are in, especially like supplements, and then different like she's had like peanut butters and different stuff like that. And it's crazy. Like I don't even want to look at it because like every
Yeah. Don't even tell me. I don't even
it's
want
just
to
like,
know.
oh, it's loaded in lead. It's loaded in lead. Like
Yeah.
all of these supplements, all these prenatal like vitamins and stuff like that are loaded in lead, and like so many different things that Marissa would show me, and I'm like, is there even like anything that's not loaded in lead? And then she started putting up some stuff that was like good. I'm like, okay, at least like not everything is.
Right.
It just seems like we're in an age where overseas the quality of foods is so much more. They have so many more regulations,
Yeah.
but in here it's just a free reign of just whatever, like whatever you want. It's
Yep.
foods can have whatever they, all the different toxins and um, things in it. And so I personally don't really stress about that too much, or actually at all. I
Yeah.
should say
I don't either.
I don't really care. I just think that it causes more stress, and I have enough stress as it is. I don't need to add in the fact of like
Yeah.
worrying about the little small things in my food. I think that's a thing too, that a lot of times the people that worry super heavily about those little small things have a lot of other things they probably could be doing that are going to move the needle a lot quicker too.
Definitely.
It's like they're struggle with sleep, and their stress is super high, and they aren't even really eating that many whole foods or
Mhm.
protein or whatever. It's like if your goal is to be healthier, I think there's a lot of better focal points: moving more, exercising, drinking more water, eating more protein, that are going to move the needle a lot more and make it so that that's a lot more insignificant. Um, and it's one thing, like, it's like if you're eating amazing and doing all these things, it's kind of like what we say about supplements, right? They're
Yeah.
not going to move the needle a ton, but they can move it, an extra percent or 2% for people that have already nailed down all this stuff. And it's not to say you shouldn't take them. Like, I think that for deficiencies, especially, they can really move the needle, even a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of where I'm at with these toxins and stuff too, is like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a supplement in a sense, where if you really want to make it a focal point after you've nailed everything down, by all means.
For sure. And like we're not trying to like pull away the importance of it. It is absolutely important. I'm personally just not going to spend time and think about it and waste energy on it. And I think there's too many people, far too often I see that they're hyper focused on it so much to the point it detracts them from doing the things that actually could be beneficial for them. For example, if somebody's super hooked on drinking sodas like Coca-Cola and things like that, but they're afraid to go to the diet version because the aspartame in it and like the certain chemicals that are in the diet
Yeah.
version, they'll use that as a crutch to be able to be like, okay, well, I don't want to have the chemicals in the diet version, so I might as well just drink the regular one, right? And it defeats the purpose. So it's like you see so many people, we have this problem epidemic of obesity, right? Where people are so overweight, and it's people that are continuously obese, overweight, and focusing on such this small piece to the puzzle, and they put so much emphasis and weight on it that they neglect everything else because they're so distracted by it. They let it take up, space and real estate in their brain capacity to be able to be like, well, that's one thing, but you just gave maybe 5, 6, 7 different perfect examples of hydration, sleep, managing stress, moving your body, lifting weights. Like you're going to be far better off doing that with still giving an emphasis and putting a certain amount of concern towards the things that we're talking about. But like to put all your eggs in that basket and kind of like die on that mountain and be like, I'm not eating this. It's like, well, what's the alternative if you're going to eat in an excessive caloric surplus and add adipose tissue and fat and experience high blood pressure, and like you're going to do all these things instead, but you don't want to eat lead, right? Like, so like for me, it's just like make sure that you're putting the emphasis on the things that actually are going to be extremely beneficial for you. I think there's different degrees and there's different levels to it. And to your point, if you're focused on those things and you are hyper critical of all the other aspects that we're talking about, then yeah, it's going to make a difference for you. But somebody who refuses to eat red 40 but they still smoke cigs, and their sleep is terrible and they don't know how to manage their stress and they haven't touched a weight since 2008, like, okay, like we have bigger fish to fry here, right? Like, so I think a lot of people get caught up in that. There's the crowd that'll use it as a crutch. There's the people that are going to be very anti, oh, I heard this or saw this on the news, or this social media influencer like said this about it, so I shouldn't have that. And then like by that point, it's like, well, we better be careful what water we're drinking, right? Like I can't even, I don't even know if I can have ice, right, without having, chemicals and metals in my water, so it's like, dude, you know?
No, I'm with you, man. And it's like, for me, I used to be so hyper focused on like the quality of food and eating certain things and doing this and that and making sure that I'm doing 10,000 steps and all this stuff. And that became, at a certain point, I was so like stressed about making sure that I hit all these things every day that it became like an over stressor, right? It
Yeah.
was like my stress levels got way too high because of it. And I think that's kind of the same way. people struggle with that too, where it's like they pin themselves down to like always eat at their house because they need to eat a certain way and they need to
Mm.
have this and that, and like conditions need to be perfect when you're missing out on like just the so much of life, I think, in that way. And you're also just missing out on like enjoying yourself because you wake up a year later after stressing about that and you're probably in good shape, hopefully. But at the same time, it's like, it's not all about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, for what? Like at that point, unless you're like competing or you're doing something specific, it's like great. And I think like, creating goals is phenomenal because they get us to actually do the thing that's required and be consistent in the process. But, making that your end all be all is it's a short-lived road. And I've done it. I fall victim to it plenty of times. So it's like, I think some people almost have to do that. And I know I did. I had to do it in order to be able to find out that like, oh, this actually causes me more stress. This is actually more detrimental to me aside from how I look and how I feel. That stuff's cool. And I thought that was everything. However, it's not all about that. And so I had to like really weigh in and go, how much time, effort, energy, brain capacity is this draining from me of worrying and trying to be perfect with everything? And although the outcomes are great, like you do yield the thing that you desire when you're working super hard towards it. But it's very important to not get lost in that and just make sure that you're like, okay, this is cool. I just have to also remember that this is a journey and this is just a checkpoint in this journey, not like everything, my whole life is dependent on it. And like, because I've been in those scenarios too, where it's just like, this is everything. Like everybody else is going to take a backseat to my discipline and my, you know what I mean? And that was like super unhealthy now looking back at it, but I had blinders on at that time, and so I almost needed to go through it and do that to be able to be like, okay, cool. Yeah, you get to that point and then you just go, now what? Okay, now what I do? Do I continue to live like this? Because honestly, if I look back, it was miserable. It sucked. And so you kind of just have that real conversation with yourself. Like, okay, there's probably some middle ground here, just like what we're talking with, like the leads and the dyes and things like that. So if you are like all the way on that side of the spectrum and you're solely in that boat, we'd encourage you to kind of like, and it's tough when you're in it, like you're very hyper focused on it. I get it. I've been there with other things, but yeah, encourage yourself when you are doing that. Usually it's time to kind of take like a bird's eye view and go, okay, where am I really at? What's sustainable here? That's what we always talk about.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I think it's like you got to go to the extreme to realize that doesn't work. And then also sometimes you got to go to the other extreme of like
Yeah.
just super lax. And then you start to find that ground that actually works for you, which is going to be somewhere in between those two, right? It's
Mhm.
like figuring that out is a process, but it's taken, I don't even know if I have it yet, but it's taken me a
Yeah.
long time
I don't know if
to
we
get.
ever get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Like, and the thing is, it's not like it's a moving target too, right? It's
Yeah.
like at certain times, it goes farther this way, and then it goes the other way at different times. It's like our life kind of dictates it, but that's the thing is like we're always kind of learning, we're growing, we're moving in a different direction. You change, your goals change, and then all these different things change. But this is good. This is fun talking about this and kind of just brainstorming stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this and let us know what your thoughts are on it too. How you focus on this thing. Like, are you really heavily focused on heavy metals, toxins, lead, stuff like that? Are you not focused on it at all? How do you like if you have an opinion on it, share it with us in the comments. We'd really love to hear it. Otherwise, make sure you're always subscribed. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We drop every Tuesday, Thursday, 6 a.m. Pacific time. It'll shift here soon when we hit daylight savings time, since AZ doesn't have it. It'll shift to more of the mountain time, 6 a.m. mountain time. So keep an eye on that. But otherwise, we appreciate you guys watching and listening every single week. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll be talking to you soon.